たちはよ、このベネツィアを何事もなくみんなで脱出するぜ。それじゃあな。Now you're a man! A man, man, man! Now you're a man! A mounty, 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 man, man, man! You are now a man, you're a man!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Golden Win Geekout. I'm your host, Danny. Got my co-host, Ryan, with me.
Hello.
And let's talk about episode 23, Fashion Talking Head. Pretty much a beat for beat episode, you know, not too much really added or anything. Like, you know, no new combat sequences, just so much as like, you know, maybe they've maybe not some, I don't know if necessarily expanded, but like maybe they like, you know, chose to do some things like, you know, like little touches here and there. You know, but you know, we'll address those as we go along.
Right.
So like so pretty much picking up where we left off last week. So Narancia, he's still got a talking head stuck in his mouth, so he's still compelled to only tell lies. Giorno is pretty much shark bait throughout this episode. Not much really to see him here. There's not really much to say about everybody. I mean, this was a Narancia episode from beginning to end. And I don't know about you, Ryan. I mean, it's like, I was keeping my eye out for any weird animation fuck-ups or anything, like quality, like, you know, because last week, you and I, we were finding a bunch of moments where the quality went down. I don't know about you. I mean, I didn't find much in this episode, so I don't know. Did you notice anything weird?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I think there may have been one instance where we get a shot of like Abacchio, Bucciolati, and Bruno. No, not Bruno. No, Mista, like at the table, and Abacchio is trying to use his replay on like a glass of water. And the first shot is like, it seemed like Bucciolati's face is just a little bit like okay, again, we're talking about like we're talking about looking at these characters from a bit of a distance, but even then, it's like, there seemed like to be a bit of lack of detail with his face again, which is weird, because it's like they almost did what they usually did in cases like this, and just left his face like completely blank. But at the same time, it's like they try to add like what little detail they could on his face. It just looked weird.
I fast forwarded to the episode. I'm looking at it now, and I mean, you're right. It really, it does kind of look half finished. That's where it's like, you better fucking fix that. It's like, how dare you do that to my Bruno?
Yeah, really. I was like, oh no, trust me. There's already been like numerous sightings of a faceless Bruno, like even before we got to the second half, up until now. Hell, even a few times with Trish, for that matter.
Well, which would you say is worse, Bruno with no face or Bruno with only half a face?
Oh,
like which would you say is worse?
Oh, obviously the Bruno with no face.
Okay.
I mean, it's like at least this time around, it's like they try to, you know, give as much detail as they could to a shot of a character, like, you know, being looked at from a bit of a distance, as opposed to the other time at these other instances. Whereas, like, even though we got a pretty good look at the characters moving, and they're not really, you know, like that far away, it's like they still just left their faces completely blank, which is and that's even more weird, because I see that, and it's like, okay, since when did Bruno and Trish become like the JoJo Slenderman of this game, of this freaking? That's literally what comes to mind. It's like, oh god, Bucciolati has become the Slender Man.
Oh god.
It's like,
it's probably a good thing that the whole Slender Man meme has like really died down, because, you know, God forbid somebody decided, you know, hey, we're gonna make some like mods to the Slender Man game, and we're just gonna mod in Bruno for Slender Man. It's like, all I can say is just thank fucking Christ that whole Slender Man thing has more or less died, because then we'd have to live with that nightmare.
Yeah, really. It's like we see Bucciolati's blank face, and it's like you see like instead of like black tentacles or whatever, we just see nothing but like zippers like coming out from his back or some shit.
Or something.
It's like ugh. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Thank God we don't have to live with that nightmare.
Right. Okay. So then, so yeah, so but yeah, I mean, it's like, thank God that the quality of the animation, it's back to normal. Like, I swear, all day today, I was just like, please let the quality be back to how it was. It's like, I really don't want to have to treat this like a hostage situation where we have to negotiate to release the freaking animation budget and give it back to everybody and not just leave it to Narancia. It's like, please don't let it be that.
Right.
But, fortunately, that's not the case. Speaking of which, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love the coloring work and everything, and it's like, I don't know why, but Narancia seems to be the one person that not only gets color changes, he also tends to get like textures and gradients added for flashes. It's like, seems to get that the most. And I love it. I absolutely love that. It's like, I think we said, like, what was it, during his fight with Formaggio, that was a big thing that we loved about the coloring with Narancia during that fight, was it wasn't just the color changes, it was they were adding gradients and textures, and we were seeing that again in this fight. And it's like, oh, why is Narancia the one that gets this special treatment? Why do we not see this constantly with everybody?
Yeah, really.
It just looks so good.
Yeah, it's like everybody like at one point or another they got some pretty neat colors or whatever. But no, Narancia, no, it seems like they take a little step further with this guy. They actually gave him like more like color gradients.
It's like, I mean, I think like everybody, I think at this point has at least had one color shot where they've had like the gradients and the textures. It's just Narancia seems to be getting it at a somewhat consistent basis with his fights. And it's just, I don't know, what is it about Narancia where he gets these super badass color schemes, but meanwhile, we've had people like Mista, who's been in like half of the goddamn fights, and he doesn't really get that same treatment, and I don't know why.
Yeah, really, it's kind of odd.
Alright, so I guess, now that we've at least gotten quality and color changes out of the way, let's actually address some of the content of the episode. As I said, this is pretty much a beat-for-beat episode. Nothing was really adjusted too greatly or anything. It pretty much follows the manga. What we did get, maybe we had like a couple of little extra flavorings. Like, this is probably because I am such a sick person, but the couple of times that we actually heard Talking Head, like, giggle, I don't know, I just thought it was adorable. I don't know why. Like, it just made me smile when all it did was just did like a little kick, and I'm just like, why is this so cute?
Funny enough, it's like, I don't know why, but every time I heard like Talking Head like cackle like that, I suddenly got some Aqua Necklace vibes.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you kind of did do that.
Yeah, because he was a small motherfucker. He could easily fit in anybody's mouth, and he always had that icon. He had his own iconic cackle with it, like.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's like the only difference here is that, like, oh yeah, we're Talking Head. It was just a very short, quick, high pitched cackle, like.
Yeah,
it's
like,
okay, I did too.
Yeah, and I think even just with the stand design itself, like, Aqua Necklace is designed to look like really like freaky looking, and it's like Talking Head not so much.
In a matter of speaking, yeah. Aside from the fact that he's supposed to be like, part of a tug or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. Again, it was just one of those weird little flavorings. So I was just like, I don't know why. I just thought that was so adorable. So it's like,
right.
Yeah, so, that was funny. Oh, speaking of Tiziano.
今ジョルノが意識を失っていても呼吸していれば食らいついている君のクラッシュが追跡されるぞ。水から水へ
Okay, Tiziano, now's not the time! It's like, dude! Just, can this wait until after the mission?
Never.
I guess maybe this is how they get their kicks?
Probably.
I guess? I mean, it's like, hey, whatever fills your hole, but still, it's kind of like weird, you know? It's like, now's not the time!
It's like, just wait until after you guys won.
At least wait until after you've eaten Jorno's throat.
Jeez. Alright, look, maybe he's doing a successful attack, or in this case, maybe the fact that everything was going according to plan at the time, maybe that's their switch. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
maybe that's what turns them on. And it's like, okay, all right, we'll finish like murdering everybody, but it's like, oh my God, Squalo.
It's like, I guess when things go according to plan, that's their fetish.
Oh my God, everything's going according to plan.
It's like, seriously, that fucking catchphrase, that, like, Ryan, you were counting how many times they said all going according to plan. What was your count?
I think it was
by the end of the episode.
I think it was 5. Unless
it's like, I guess that has to be their fetish.
Unless if I missed one and it was actually 6, but I think I counted 5. It's like,
okay then.
Wait, oh God. You know, now I'm thinking it's like, okay, this is basically like, what was it? Those goddamn hyenas from the Lion King, or some shit. It's like, oh yeah, I used to get like shivers down my spine whenever he says all according to plan. All according to plan. Ooh. Do it again.
God damn it.
According to plan.
God,
Ooh.
God damn it. You know, that's actually true. It's like, it's like, my God, why are we trying to analyze their bedroom habits? Why?
And then meanwhile, the boss is just watching them from afar and be like, ugh, I'm surrounded by idiots.
He's like, why did I hire them again?
Oh, man. Look, regardless of such, it's like, regardless of how much they love each other, I fucking love it. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, and especially when we actually got to where Narancia killed the both of them.
Oh,
I mean, it's like, you know,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, in the manga, yeah, again, same events happen. I do think it's probably between seeing it animated and actually hearing the voice acting. That was like, yeah, like when Tiziano ended up dying, I was like, it's like they went out of their way, I swear, they went out of their way to make Tiziano's death look pretty compared to freaking Squalo. Squalo gets shot up and just, collapses and shit. But meanwhile, it's like, you look at, like, Tiziano, he gets, like, what is it, the dying death speech, breathes his last, he falls limp in Squalo's arms, and you see even, like, his hair, like, strands of his hair, like, coming in front of his face. It's like, oh my God, you're actually trying to make him look all freaking Bishojo, aren't you?
Yeah, really.
It's like, they're actually going with that.
It's like, sure, why not?
I suppose. Okay, so then it's like, I guess, while we're, I guess, talking about the end here. So, Ryan, considering how you are, like, you absolutely adore stand cries. So, how did Narancia's stand cry, stand up?
Ow.
Oh boy!
Oh.
Narancia's about to become a man!
Alright, I was about to say there's like a few.
We're here, Ryan. We're here.
Oh, thank God! Yes! Shoot him up! Shoot that bastard up! Oh!
Damn! That was
Damn!
bad! It's like,
I honestly, okay, I will say, probably not as impactful as I wanted it to be, but I will say, still, that was pretty fucking badass. It's like,
damn.
wow.
I know, and it even does like the badass pose and everything.
Up, and he makes a landing. Yeah, I mostly heard, like, the two variations of the battle cry. Like, yes, from All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven. Now, I think of, like, the voice actor who voiced Narancia in the video games, how he did the battle cry. And he was pretty much, like, a lot of the like, a lot of the other battle cry. He like, literally shouts it. He, like, or stuff like that. But now I listen to the anime adaptation. And while I won't say it was, like, flat out terrible, I mean, no, it was still really, really badass to hear the voice actor for Deku pull off that battle cry after all this time. That was great. But, I don't know. I think it's probably going to take some getting used to, but they took a different direction with how they handled the battle cry this time around. Like, here I am thinking, like, okay, he's going to go, alright, much like all these other battle cries where they just shout the names, like, at a really fast pace. They're probably going to do the same thing here. Oh, man, it's going to be great. No, they did the opposite on both ends. Like, what was it? It was like he started off, like, the guy started off slow, but got a little bit faster. Not as fast as I was thinking they were going to take it, which kind of surprised me. And it's like, it wasn't like he wasn't yelling the battle cry, as it were, but you could still tell, like, the anger, like, from his voice, like, regardless of how much soft it was, you know, compared to, like, the games.
Right. And it's like, I think that's actually a good point. It's like, you know, the context, I think it changes everything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like, because in the games, I mean, it's like, yeah, they, you know, yeah, they went all out with, like, you know, they screamed the battle cries and shit, but I mean, it's like, it's a fighting game. I mean, that's what you do. Given the context in the anime, you know, Narancia is just fucking livid. Because, I mean, it's like, you know, yeah, you had one guy who was pretty much using him, you know, to pretty much lure everybody into a trap to kill everybody. Like, you know, Narancia was just being used during this whole thing. So, of course Narancia's going to be pissed off about that. And then he had to watch, you know, what was going on with Giorno. So it's just, you know, I think that's why where it's like, when he started, you know, doing the battle cry, he's not going to go, you know, all bombastic and everything like how you would normally expect, you know, in a freaking Shonen Jump battle cry or whatever. It's like, I can't blame him for, you know, for them taking that different approach, you know, because he's just pissed. He's just like, he's like, that's it, I'm done. No joking around. I'm fucking done. I've had a rough 5 minutes. I just fucking die already. You know, that's really, you know, that's really, like, you know, where Narancia's headspace was.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, all right, that's it. I am done. This is bullshit. Go ahead and die. Vola, 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 vola. Volare via.
Yeah. I gotta say, I also really love the pose that Narancia did at the end when he said Volare via. Because it's like, again, like, in the manga, you know, that was actually a pose that was not in the manga. You know, you just see, like, you know, where he's shooting up Squalo, he's screaming out, you know, he's screaming, you know, vola, vola, vola. But then when you actually get to, you know, Volare via, you know, that's like at the very end where, like, you know, where you see he's just kind of standing there, the shark comes out of his neck, like, that's how the battle cry pretty much ends. And I mean, the games more or less match that as well. But I gotta say, I really loved what the anime did. Like, you know, again, it's that little bit of extra flavor where they actually gave, like, Narancia, like, a little bit of a spin, and then he, like, does, like, just, yeah, he strikes a JoJo pose. And it's like, I liked that. I
like that too.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Oh, yeah, that was a very nice touch. Again, it was like, the battle cry in general like wasn't as impactful as I was hoping it would be. But no, there is no denying that even after all of that, they still made like the guy made like voiced Narancia and made him sound, like still very, very badass.
Yeah.
Even though they took the battle cry in a different direction than I was expecting it, I think it's safe to say they still gave Aerosmith's battle cry, a lot of justice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, I think, again, I got to double check this in the manga, but I actually think this is the only time that we hear the Valaravia battle cry.
I think you're right, actually. I think after that, then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because that's like, I know, like, there's, I think maybe like once or twice more that we do hear Bruno going adi adi adi. I don't think we get that with Narancia as well. So, like, this was pretty much, this was it. This was the battle cry, boy's about to become a man. Here you go. This was it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so I guess, like, that's pretty much it as far as this episode goes. So, as far as next week...
The Lexus LX 4.5 bulletproof glass tips if I want some ass. Gon' blast squeeze first, ask questions last. That's how most of these so-called gangsters act.
So, thanks to the ending title card, we know what our next stand user's name change is going to be. So, the next stand that they're going to be fighting in the Japanese version, it is known as Notorious B.I.G. And, no need to worry about, trying to predict what the hell it's going to change into, because we now know it's going to be called Notorious Chase.
Yeah, Notorious Chase. Now it's like, at first when I saw this name, it threw me off, because it's like, wait, okay, Notorious B.I.G., Notorious Chase. What does the term chase have to do with switching that out, with the initials B.I.G.?
Well, it's because of the stand's ability. That's literally what they're doing. It's like, okay, how do we avoid the copyright? It's like, I guess keep the notorious part, but it's like, if one of them's going to have to switch, then it's like, I guess they decided, rather than having just the B.I.G. part, then, let's just change it to pretty much what its stand ability is. And, so, Chase.
It's like, it's like, okay, I'll have to, remind, look back, exactly on what his ability is really like, within the manga, just so I can, remind myself on how it actually plays out, and from there, it should give me a better idea. I was like, okay, if it's for his stand ability, and it's like, okay, what was his stand ability again? And, all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense on why they made the name change. Okay.
Well, that's why you got me. So, Notorious B.I.G. in, the most basic terms, it's another remote control stand, and basically it targets whatever is the fastest moving thing nearby. And it targets, specifically by speed, and literally it will go after it and it will try to devour it. Basically think like the movie The Blob, but super fast.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's where it's like, so yeah, that's in the most basic terms. That is what Notorious B.I.G.'s ability is, and that's why it's being called Notorious Chase.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, not exactly swapping out for a synonym. I mean, it's kind of the halfway point of, a name change, but it's like they're not going as far as, what they did with Bruno, where it's like, okay, we're just going to change Sticky Fingers entirely, and we're just going to call it for what it is and call it Zipper Man. It's like, no, they didn't go that far. They kind of went halfway there, which, as I've said before, I don't mind, because, some of those literal name changes I don't like. I'm not a big fan of Zipperman, and I really don't like Aerosmith becoming Little Bomber, so it's like I am definitely a fan of the original names in those cases.
Yeah, they stand out more when you keep their original names. I hear Little Bomber and I think of like what was it? That one That one game that what was it? That was like really popular with the angry video game nerd. B-17 Bomber.
Oh yeah, like I forgot which episode that was, but I think it might have been one of the Atari episodes because I remembered it was like he was talking about how there was like some kind of like a device or a couple of games or something that actually had like talking in it. And it was just, the way they said B-17 Bomber. It was like the weirdest way to say the name.
Yeah, really. It's like, Mattel Electronics presents B-17 Bomber.
It's like, it's freaking weird.
Yeah, it's like, I literally think of that every time I accidentally pronounce Aerosmith as Lil Bomber. It's like, no, this is not an Atari stand, alright? This is based off a freaking awesome band that is Aerosmith. So it's like, god damn it.
Alrighty. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else that, we might have missed for this episode?
Honestly, I think we pretty much talked about everything that we needed to talk about.
Alrighty then. So, hope you guys enjoyed the episode this week. I definitely say, big improvement from last week, just on quality alone. And we will see you guys next week for the next fight. And I just want to say, yes, it is a Notorious B.I.G. fight. This is another favorite fight of mine coming up. So it's like, I can't wait to see this one.
There we go. All right, well, hey, we'll see you guys then.